Marcus Williams adjusted his daughter's booster seat and smiled as she colored enthusiastically on the paper placemat. His wife Sarah was pointing out different colors to their son, who babbled happily in his high chair. It was supposed to be a simple family dinner at Murphy's Diner, the kind of wholesome American restaurant with checkered floors and apple pie that reminded Marcus why he served his country. The hostess had been polite enough, seating them at a corner booth near the kitchen. Marcus didn't mind. He actually preferred having his back to the wall, old habits from his years as a Navy SEAL. He'd just returned from a 6-month deployment, and this quiet family dinner felt like paradise. "Daddy, look," 5-year-old Maya held up her drawing of their family. "That's you in your uniform." Marcus chuckled, his heart warming. "That's beautiful, sweetheart. But tonight Daddy's just Daddy, not a soldier." "Actually, honey, Daddy's a sailor," Sarah corrected gently, squeezing Marcus's hand. "Navy, remember?" The peaceful moment was interrupted by the arrival of 2 police officers. Officer Bradley, a heavy-set man with a permanent scowl, approached their table with his partner trailing behind. Marcus's trained eyes immediately assessed the situation, body language tense, hands near their belts, eyes scanning the family with suspicion. "Evening, folks," Bradley said, his tone suggesting it wasn't going to be a good evening. "We've had some reports of suspicious activity in the area. Mind if we ask what you're doing here?" Sarah's grip tightened on Marcus's hand. They'd been through this before, the suspicious looks, the whispered conversations, the assumption that a well-dressed black family didn't belong in certain neighborhoods. "Having dinner with my family, officer," Marcus replied calmly, his voice carrying the quiet authority of someone accustomed to command. "Is there a problem?" "Well, that depends," Bradley smirked. "Got any identification? Receipt showing you paid for your food?" Maya looked up from her coloring, confusion clouding her young face. "Mommy, why is the policeman being mean?" Sarah quickly shushed her, pulling the little girl closer. Marcus felt that familiar fire building in his chest, the protective instinct that had kept his team alive in hostile territory. But this wasn't a battlefield, this was his daughter's innocence being shattered by ignorance. "We haven't ordered yet," Marcus said evenly. "But I'm happy to show you my ID." He reached slowly into his wallet, movements deliberate and non-threatening despite every fiber of his being wanting to respond differently. His fingers found his military ID alongside his driver's license. Bradley snatched both cards, barely glancing at them. "Marcus Williams, says here you're military." "Navy," Marcus confirmed. The second officer, younger and clearly uncomfortable, whispered something to Bradley. But the senior officer waved him off. "Look, we've had reports of people matching your description causing trouble. Maybe you folks would be more comfortable eating somewhere else?" The diner had grown quiet, other patrons openly staring. Marcus could feel his family's embarrassment and fear. This was exactly the kind of moment that could traumatize his children, teaching them that their skin color made them unwelcome in their own country, the country their father risked his life to defend. "Officer Bradley," Marcus said, reading the name tag, his voice dropping to a dangerously quiet tone. "Are you asking us to leave because we're black? Now don't go making this about race, then what is it about?" Marcus stood slowly, his imposing 6 feet 2 inches frame unfolding with the fluid grace of someone in peak physical condition. "Because I can't think of any other reason you'd harass a family trying to have dinner." Bradley's hand moved toward his weapon. "Sir, I'm going to need you to sit back down." That's when the diner's door chimed, and a voice called out across the restaurant. "Marcus? Marcus Williams? Is that you?" A man in an expensive suit was walking toward them, his face lighting up with recognition. Behind him followed what appeared to be his family and several other well-dressed individuals. "Chief Williams." The man extended his hand enthusiastically. "Tom Morrison, you probably don't remember me, but you saved my son's life in Afghanistan 3 years ago." Marcus shook the offered hand, recognition dawning. "Mr. Morrison. How is Jake?" Graduating from college next month, thanks to you. Morrison turned to the officers, his demeanor shifting to one of authority. Officers, is there some sort of problem here? Bradley stammered, suddenly looking uncertain. We were just routine questions, reports of what? Morrison's voice carried the sharp edge of a man accustomed to being obeyed. This man is Chief Petty Officer Marcus Williams, Navy SEAL, recipient of 2 Bronze Stars and a Silver Star. He's a genuine American hero. The younger officer's face had gone pale. He tugged on Bradley's sleeve. Sir, maybe we should, but Morrison wasn't finished. He pulled out his phone. I'm Tom Morrison, by the way. Mayor of this fine town. And I think there's been a serious misunderstanding here. The color drained from Bradley's face. Mayor Morrison. I didn't. You were just harassing one of our nation's finest warriors while he was trying to have dinner with his beautiful family. Morrison's voice carried across the now silent diner. Chief Williams, please, let me apologize on behalf of our community. This is not who we are. Marcus felt Sarah's hand slip into his. Maya was still clutching her crayon, watching the adults with wide eyes. Chief Williams, the younger officer, stepped forward, his voice shaking slightly. Sir, I apologize. This was completely inappropriate. We had no right. No, Marcus said quietly, you didn't. Bradley stood frozen, realizing his career was likely over. The mayor was already on his phone, and other patrons were recording with their phones. Morrison addressed the restaurant. Folks, I want everyone to meet Chief Petty Officer Marcus Williams. This man has served our country with distinction for over 15 years. He's completed multiple combat deployments, saved countless lives, and represents the very best of American values. Spontaneous applause erupted throughout the diner. An elderly veteran at the counter stood and saluted. A young waitress approached with tears in her eyes. Chief Williams, sir, your family's dinner is on the house tonight. And every night you want to come in. Marcus looked down at his daughter, who was beaming with pride. Daddy, you're famous. No, sweetheart, Marcus said, lifting her into his arms. Daddy just did his job. Later, after the officers had left in shame, after the mayor had personally ensured they were treated with the respect they deserved, after Maya had fallen asleep with her head on his shoulder, Marcus reflected on the evening. It shouldn't have taken his military service to earn basic human dignity. It shouldn't have required a mayor's intervention for his family to eat in peace. But perhaps, in some small way, this incident would make the next black family's experience a little better. As they walked to their car, Sarah squeezed his arm. I'm proud of how you handled that. I'm just tired of having to prove we belong, Marcus admitted. Maybe tonight changed something, she said hopefully. Marcus looked back at the diner, where a new sign was being posted in the window. All heroes welcome, military, police, fire, EMS, and every American family. Maybe she was right. Maybe it was a start.